In this line of work, what you kill is what you eat. In this season, if you are not introducing yourself, if people cannot find you, there's no way for them to pay you. Goal is to work smarter, not harder. Is to do the least, but get the most. But we're in the Dear to Leap Academy to what? To secure the big bag. Also, be the architects of our lives. Hey guys, welcome back to Banking on Cultura. I am your host, Victoria Jenn Rodriguez. And today's episode is going to be a behind the scenes of one of my coaching calls inside the Dare to Leap Academy. The Dare to Leap Academy is my online learning platform where I teach women in corporate or the 9-to-5 grind how to start and scale up a business, even if they don't know what type of business to start and don't want to lose their financial security. And so every week I have a live coaching call with my students, and I usually kick off these calls with what I like to call a mini TED Talk, informing them of what's going on in my world and any key strategies that I learned from the week prior. So today's episode, you'll get some insight into my recent trip to Hotlanta, some networking events that I went to, and all the hacks that I learned from that experience. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you are interested in the Dare to Leap Academy, in the comments of this episode, you will see a link to a free training that will teach you the 3 steps that you can take to start and scale a business. And after you watch that training, it's about 15 minutes long. You have an opportunity to book a free coaching call with me so that we can get an understanding of where you are in your journey and how I can possibly help you. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome to another week. Another coaching call. I'm excited to have you guys here. And I actually have a great mini TED Talk for you guys because I am coming home from Atlanta. I was in Atlanta Thursday through Sunday this past weekend, attending networking events, shaking hands, putting myself out there. So essentially everything that I'm telling you guys to do, I'm doing it, right? This is how it works. You got to put yourself out there. You have to shake the hands. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to invest in yourself in that way. And there were a couple of key takeaways from that experience that I wanted to share with you guys because that's what you guys get, right? Being in the DTL familia. And I want you guys to be the first to hear it. So one of the major takeaways, I got to meet E.T., the hip hop preacher. And for those of you who are not familiar with who he is, he essentially has been able to create a career out of speaking. He does a lot of motivational speaking. He has a New York Times bestseller. He's been able to build a real community around coaching, but mainly around like positive thinking, getting out of your own way, all the things. So during his talk, he had said 2 things that really hit home for me, that were key hacks that I want to share with you guys today. And make sure that you are taking advantage of this key takeaway. First key takeaway was a networking hack that I was like, oh, I haven't really thought of this hack before, but it makes complete sense given kind of just the shift that we've all seen in terms of how people want to do business, right? It's more so relational than ever before. When I was growing up on Wall Street, when I first started my career, everything was super transactional and people were very used to that approach. People were very used to you, hey, what do you want? How do you want it? Get to the point, right? And there's some people who are still like that today, but the majority of the industry has shifted to a space where relationships are paramount and relationships will what separate you from other people, from the competition, and genuinely being interested in people. So this is one of the hacks that E.T. shared, and I was like, wow, I'm going to implement this with my relationship building. And it is this. Everybody always wants to go after like the top dog, the person that's always in your face, the person that is doing the major thing. Everybody wants to go straight to the boss, right? But what you don't realize is everybody else is trying to go straight to the boss, right? Everybody else is trying to go straight to the public figure. And they just don't have the bandwidth to pay attention to you, essentially. And so you miss the opportunity to actually have segue and to actually build a relationship with the number one person by overlooking their team, right? Overlooking maybe their number four, their number five person on the team, right? You overlook them because you immediately want to go to the head honcho, right? You immediately want to go to the main person, not understanding how powerful their number four is, their number five is, because they're the ones who actually have the bandwidth to get what you are trying to get, right? Whether that's a meeting, whether that's some type of opportunity, etc. So don't always try to go to the main person. Pay attention to who else is in their immediate circle. And you might want to start there because more likely than not, it'll be easier for you to build a relationship with them that will then transfer over to the main person that you are trying to get to. Next hack. Similar to this of not trying to go directly to the head honcho, the other thing he shared was how someone who was trying to build a relationship with him started doing things for his kids, right? So he had kids who are in college, kids who are looking for a job, kids who are thinking about financial management, kids who are thinking about this next chapter in their life. And there was someone who is a financial advisor who wanted to do business with him. So her approach was presenting him with an opportunity for his kids. And as a result of her approaching it that way, like, hey, this is not about you, this is about your kids, inevitably, she grew a relationship with him. And also separated herself from everyone else because, you know, when you help someone's kid out, they remember that, right? When you prioritize their kid, their joy, they remember that. So think about that. If somebody you're trying to build a relationship, maybe it's a dog, maybe it's not a kid, and you come with like a gift for their dog or something, you know, their dog is having health issues and you give them, you know, access to a veterinarian that can do something, right? Being very creative, coming from a place of service, right? Without an ask first. Like, hey, how can I serve you before making the ask? And sometimes that's really difficult for entrepreneurs because we are very like, I need to get to the bag. Like, I don't got time to build this relationship. I don't got time to do the smoozing. I don't got time to do all of that. But what I've learned, because I used to be that person, right? Growing up in New York City, like, I don't have time. Like, let's go. Let's move things along, right? That's how I grew up. But what I've learned is those relationships, I get what I want. I get something out of it, right? But it ends there. And then I have to go build a new relationship with someone else versus going deeper with the relationship that already existed because I'm approaching it in a heart-led way versus a transactional way. And it's 10 times harder to then begin a new relationship with someone versus going deep with someone that you've already built a relationship with. Because this is strategy. These are like tangible strategies that you can put into place when you are looking to build relationships with executives or people of influence, okay? So super, super, super important. The third thing that really landed and resonated with me was he said, you know, we live in this era of everybody wants to like share what they're doing. Everybody wants to let the world know what are they doing, every win that they have, just everything going on because we're just in that creator economy where people just want to share, share, share. Now, while I'm a fan of sharing, because again, it builds credibility and it lets people know like, yo, you outside, it lets people know that you have real value. It lets people know that you're shaking hands, all the things, you're serious, right? Which are all important. But he shared with me that sometimes it's okay if not everybody knows what you are doing, but the check clears. What's up, mi gente? Bet you didn't know that Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You know what's a little less accepted? Taking financial advice from random usernames and avatars you found on some forum. That's just sketchy. No offense to all the finance bros out there on the internet. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
Get more than you expect with the $5 meal deal, part of new McValue. 5 gets you a McDouble or McChicken and a small fry and a small drink and a 4-piece McNuggets. Woo! New McValue at McDonald's. Prices of participation may vary. McDouble meal $6 in some markets for limited time only.
Sometimes it's okay if everybody doesn't know what you're doing, but the check clears. And that resonated with me, and I'll share why soon. You guys will see why. Probably Q4 of this year, you guys will see why that resonated so much with me. But I want you to keep that in your mind. Sometimes the relationships that you are building, people are not comfortable with it being shared, right? Some organizations might want you to sign an NDA, right? Because they don't want their competitors to know what it is that you're working on for them, right? Or given the climate that we're in, they might still want to invest in you, but publicly, it just can't be known at this time. This is the type of environment that we're in. So taking all of these things in consideration and making sure that you are handling yourself as professionally as possible so that you can maintain relationships and continue to foster and continue to build trust. Because the deeper that you go with the relationships that you establish, the more rewarding it will be for the both of you. Make sense? Yes, yes. We are vibing with this? Okay, cool. So those are the 3 things. So 1, we want to make sure that we're not always having to go after the number 1 person. We can talk to their number 3, their number 4, their number 5 on the team to start building a relationship. Next, instead of always approaching a relationship with an ask, see how you can serve and doing something for their kids, their loved ones, somebody that has, is meaningful to them, right? They have an emotional connection with, will help you stand out. And then lastly, not everybody needs to know what you are doing as long as the check clears. Okay? Those were kind of like my 3 major takeaways from his presentation. And then I went to another event. So on this trip, I had 2 major networking events and like mini networking events that happened throughout. And the next event I went to was like a woman in radio event. Knew nobody there. I knew 1 person who was speaking on a panel, but everybody else I did not know. I did not know that room. I did not know that industry, right? It was completely new for me. And one of the things that I always like to do when I'm entering a new space or when I want people to pay attention to me is I got to make sure the fit is fitting, right? Got to make sure the fit is fitting, the makeup is flawless, the hair, because guess what? People are going to be attracted to you and they're going to come to you. You don't even have to go up to anybody else. They're going to stop you in the bathroom and say, wow, that's such a nice outfit. Boom. And that's your opportunity to build a relationship. Or they're going to pass you and they're going to be like, wow, you smell so good. What is that? Right? Presenting yourself in that way will guarantee energy to come to you. So if you're an introvert, this is a great way for you to not have to go out so much outside of your comfort zone, where people will organically and naturally, inevitably come to you just off of the way that you presented yourself. Because if you look like a boss and you come with that energy and you are handling yourself in that way, people are automatically going to be like, who's this? Like, who's this person? I need to introduce myself to this person because they come in here looking like a boss. They just got this boss ass energy. Like, I need to be a part of that. Okay. So that's a great way for you to stand out in new environments, is show up and show out. Make sure the fit is fitting. Okay. Make sure you take time to do your hair. Make sure you take time to put on the face, the accessories, the whole look. Remember, you are a package presentation. not just with the value that you bring to the table and the transformations and the results that you're able to get clients, your look. We live in a society where your look can already speak for you without you even having to say a word, right? And the goal is to work smarter, not harder. Everybody put in the chat, work smarter, not harder, right? That is the goal, is to do the least, but get the most, right? Do the least, but get the most. That is the era that we are in, because there's just too many things that are pulling at us right now. There's too many things that are distracting. So we got to make sure that we are being mindful of how we are spending our time and how we are showing up into spaces so that you don't get left behind. And in this season, right, in this season, if you are not outside shaking hands, in this season, if you are not going to events, in this season, if you are not asking people for 15-minute virtual coffee chats, in this season, if you are not introducing yourself, if people cannot find you, there's no way for them to pay you. So you gotta be outside. You gotta be discoverable. People need to know who you are and what you bring to the table. Because if not, someone who's way less qualified than you, has way less talent than you, less experience, less skill set, but they go outside and they're shaking someone's hand, will get the business over you just simply because you're not showing up. And we don't want that. We got the skills. We got the experience. We have what they need. We've got the solutions to their problems. They just haven't met you yet. So a lot of you are stuck, right? And not taking full advantage of this opportunity of being in the Dare to Leap Academy, of launching your business, of getting the plays on how to go after these 5- and 6-figure contracts, simply because you are not shaking hands, simply because you are not introducing yourself, simply because you are choosing to, now I want to say choosing. I want to use the word, you are leaning on the idea that just because you're good at what you do, that people are automatically going to know that. And therefore, they're going to seek you out without you having to do much. And that's just not the case. Okay? We need to be outside. We need to be loud as much as possible right now, because that is what's going to help you convert the business. People need to know you. So Atlanta, Thursday to Sunday, networking events the entire time I'm there. Okay. Tonight, I'm going to a networking event. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to a networking breakfast. So there's nothing that I'm telling you to do that I'm not doing myself. You want to know why? Because I know that it works. This is how I'm able to get the business. This is how I'm able to get these opportunities, is because I go to these things. I see something that's happening in my city and I'm like, ooh, I want to go to that. Actually, I got another hack for you. Write hack in the chat if you want another hack. And then I'm going to open it up to your questions and stuff, because this is now turning into a full-blown coaching session. And I want this for you guys. Okay. We want another hack. Another hack.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Ooh, this is really good. You should know about this. So I don't know about you, but I've been known to procrastinate, especially when things scare the hell out of me. The fear alone would have me stuck, overwhelmed, confused, and all types of self-doubt. And don't even get me started on the imposter syndrome. Okay. After getting laid off, not once, but 3 times, honey, I realized that the security blanket that I made up in my head was just an excuse because I didn't really want to bet on myself. The corporate benefits that had me in that headlock, girl, they went out the window once my job decided that they no longer needed me.
It turns out that I'll save a whole nickel if I cut your salary completely.
The truth is, the only security blanket guarantee is the one that you create for yourself. In other words, until you start a business, you will always be at the mercy of a company's headcount, and you will never have complete control over your time, which means you'll be renting out your thought leadership and helping build someone else's dream instead of your own. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Don't you think it's time you stop playing small and tap all the way into your power, sis? Check out www.victoriajen.com/training to learn my 3-step process, the exact 3 steps that I took to make the transition from corporate to entrepreneurship. And this is helpful even if you don't know what type of business to start and have only one source of income. And this is absolutely free. It is my gift to you. I want you to win. It's winning season. In fact, what's that? It smells like winning season. Okay, so tap in and I'll see you inside the training. Let's go. In your city, I want you to literally Google events and put your city. And you will see events that are happening in your city. Pick what events you want to go to. Some are free, some are paid. Go to the events. This is also so helpful because you get to get content, right? You're struggling, oh, what kind of content do I need to put out there? Go to events, tons of content. Take a picture of the step and repeat. Take a picture in front of the step and repeat. Take a picture with a stranger that you just met. Content, boom. Talk about your experience. Content, boom. Talk about somebody who asked you a question related to your expertise. Content, boom. And at the same time, you're building new relationships. It's more simple than you think, but we're overanalyzing and we're overcomplicating the process, or we are creating obstacles for ourselves that are not really adding real value. Oh, my hair ain't cute. Oh, I don't got the perfect outfit. Oh, I just don't feel like it. Oh, what if they don't like me, etc. All that does not matter. What matters is that you are outside and you are shaking hands and people are getting to know you. This is how you build your email list. This is how you build your following. All Atlanta, I had like 100 people follow me while I was in Atlanta. Because I was just meeting people. Oh, what's your Instagram? That's how it happens, right? Someone tags you on their Instagram, they met you, boom, they reposted, boom, you now have this whole new community of people. But that only happens when you actually go outside. So figure out what events are happening. Organizations that are doing dope things, sign up for their email list so that you know when their events are coming, so that you can put it on the calendar, so that you can go. There's tons of events happening every single day, virtually and in person, but I really want to encourage you guys to go to in-person events. It's just different. It's different. And also, don't be afraid to join Facebook groups that make sense for you and start commenting in the Facebook groups, start networking in the Facebook groups. The opportunities are limitless, but you have to take advantage of what is presented to you and what is available to you, and stop complaining about things that are not working. If you yourself, you know you're not working to your fullest potential, then you can't complain. If you are not making money in your business, I want you to seriously analyze what it is that you are doing and what you are not doing. And I guarantee the reason why you are not making money is because you are not doubling down. You are not doubling down on the things that you should be doing. That is the only reason. That is the only reason. In this line of work, what you kill is what you eat. What you kill is what you eat. But if you are not outside hunting, what are you killing to eat? You're going to starve. You're going to starve if you are not outside ready. Bang, bang. Hunting. You have to hunt. You have to hunt. That is how you get the business. Remember, we are not employees anymore, right? As an employee, you just show up, do the job you were paid for, and then you go home. Now, you guys are in the Dare to Leap Academy because you don't want that for yourself anymore, right? You want to create an additional income stream for yourself. You want to do your own thing. You don't want to have to ask permission for a vacation. You don't want to have to ask permission to go see your mommy because she's sick in the hospital. You don't want to have to ask anybody for permission on how to live your life, how to make money, how to take care of your family. But guess what? That means you need to move different. That's the only way that you're going to build the authority to be the decision maker, to live life on your terms and do as you wish and make money. Because you could do all those things and be broke. That is a fact. But we're in the Dare to Leap Academy to what? To secure the big bag and also be the architects of our lives. And the only way for you to do that is for you to do what people are not doing. Employees don't need to do that because they're okay being told what to do. They're okay with being limited on how much money they can make. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. There's tons of people who are okay with that. And that, listen, we all need employees in order to grow our business. Everyone is not meant to be an entrepreneur. It takes a special fire within you to take the risk every day of betting on yourself. Next month, I make 8 years in business. It's been the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. And it's also been the most rewarding. For those of you who have kids or husbands and all the things, that's what I hear it's like for you too. Right? Hardest thing you've ever had to do, but most rewarding. Your business is the same thing. It is your baby. It will be the hardest thing that you will have to do because guess what? It is a direct reflection of you and the work that you are putting into the business will determine how successful the business is. But if you are not putting in the work, if you are not showing up 1,000%, your business is not going to perform at 1,000%. It is going to perform at the level of effort that you put into it. Right? And we got to have those difficult conversations with ourselves. I've had to have those difficult conversations with myself like, V, you say this is what you want. You say this is the life that you want to live, but are you really showing up that way? Or are you being lazy? Or you're procrastinating too much? Or you're forgetting to follow up? You're not taking advantage of what was put forth with you. Another hack I'll share, and then I'm opening it up to questions, is all these people that I've met, I now need to follow up with all of them, right? I now need to make sure they don't forget me and they don't forget the relationship that we started, the seed that was planted when we met. I got to make sure they don't forget. And that requires follow-up. So even after the event, after you've gotten yourself up and you put yourself out there, you've done the hair, you've done the makeup, you've done the fit, the work doesn't stop there. The money is in the follow-up. So then you got to follow up with these people and let them know, hey, we had this conversation. Like, let's continue the dialogue. Because that's how you get to the bag. Somebody's not going to just give you $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 just here. Right? Because they're going to forget you because they met tons of other people. You have to remind them of who you are and the value you bring to the table. Okay, that concludes my TED Talk for today.
Mi gente, did you enjoy this episode? Are you loving Banking on Cultura? Make sure to subscribe and follow us. Our goal is to grow this community so that we can all embrace our Latinidad, secure the big bag, and never question our cultura ever again. Please also take a moment to leave us a review. I love reading your reviews. Let me know what you are thinking, what guests we should have on, and if there are any topics you would like me to cover. I appreciate you so much for being here. Te amo mucho, and I'll check you out in the next episode.